Under the pale moonlight, Vinny and Phil bring the shadows to life. Tales of the ghostly whispers in the night, Bigfoot and aliens ready for the strife. The darkness thickens, the air is cold, haunting stories waiting to unfold. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. Heavy beats echo through the haunted trees. Demons lurk as the chill hits with ease. But the caps rolling with gets to amaze. Cryptids and spirits were lost in the haze. Northmen in the foliage, watch your back. Dogmen prowling, ready to attack. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. Moving in the foliage, watch your back. Thunder prowling, ready to attack. Supernatural Sundays, the veil is thin. Join us in the chaos, let the night begin. With every whisper and each chilling tale, dare to believe where shadows prevail. So tune in next week, fear in your soul. Darkness awaits, let the stories unfold.
Welcome to Supernatural Sundays. This is our Valentine's weekend edition, February 15th, 2026. I've got a new guy to check out tonight, and we got our old friend Addie over here. She has not disappointed. The last 3 podcasts, she has shown some kind of activity. Welcome, Addie. And I don't have a name for the new guy. What's your name?
Don't have a name yet, and I'm hoping to come up with one by the time we're done for this year podcast.
Well, okay then. I've got a couple cat balls. These are active cat balls. I've got some K2 meters on these guys to see if there's any kind of action with them. And we'll just keep an eye on them through the rest of the podcast, see if there's any kind of activity. And been kind of an interesting week. It warmed up a little bit, thank God. It's been pretty cold around here. A lot of snow with ice on top of it. So we're going to get into the supernatural news this week. See what's new out there in the world and the supernatural. Well, I think we'll start off this week with some Sasquatch activity. We got the Okie. We're gonna call this the Okie Squatch from Oklahoma. The new one that they're just come out with some new footage. Got the old Sasquatch dog here. I don't know if you can see him. He's off camera over here. He's coming to visit. Are you gonna be part of this too? Do I have to get your own chair so the folks back home can see you? Okay. You might see his nose. Can you get up here? Let's check out this Oklahoma Sasquatch. Come on. I'm thinking either AI or a guy in a suit. The way his feet were like grabbing onto that log. I think we should roll that one more time. Look at his feet, y'all. When you see this thing, it's pretty crazy. I thought it was a guy in a suit till I saw his feet, but then it could be AI with all that AI stuff going on. Not sure on that one. Pretty wild. And we've got this here is a unknown creature. They've seen like some eye shine, and this thing's out here in the woods. And I think this one comes out of Missouri territory. I'm not sure. We'll see if it explains where it comes from.
What was that? You hear that? What the world? Oh. Oh, heck no.
I think I've seen that video before. It sounded like a goat to me. And this one here this is like recent, like in the last maybe 2 weeks. Caught on a trail cam in Illinois, my home state over there. Not sure what part of Illinois. I'm going to guess somewhere in the woods. Up in central and northern Illinois is mostly just flat farm ground. But down south, you got a lot of more trees and bottoms and swamps, and got some cliffs and crags, hollers. Let's check this out. I'm calling this one the Illinois Creeper.
This photo was taken January 6, 2026 in the woods of Illinois. The photo was taken on a trail camera that is only activated because of movement. Hunters use this technology to track their prey, and the owner of the trail camera was shocked upon discovery. The woods where this trail camera are located are very remote woods and privately owned. These woods are not open to the public. Do you think this is a ghost, a skinwalker, or just a hoax?
I think it's plausible. I mean, that thing was pretty wild looking. It looked like there was definitely something there. All right, one more time. The Illinois Creeper. You guys back home see anything, let me know. Something I missed.
This photo was taken January 6, 2026 in the woods of Illinois. The photo was taken on a trail camera that is only activated because of movement. Hunters use this technology to track their prey, and the owner of the trail camera was shocked upon discovery. The woods where this trail camera are located are very remote woods and privately owned. These woods are not open to the public. Do you think this is a ghost, a skinwalker, or just a hoax?
I'm thinking a hoax or a ghost. I'm not getting a skinwalker vibe there. Been talking about a little bit of underwater stuff. There's different creatures out there, cryptids. Um, this one, I'm not sure if it's a big fish or something else, but pretty interesting. I don't think I'd want to be swimming with this thing. These video clips are pretty short tonight. I'll roll that again so you guys get a good look at that thing. It kind of looks, it's some kind of big, I think it's a fish, but I don't know that it's a cryptid. Could be, but whoever videoed it didn't know what it was. I'm thinking some kind of big, really big fish, and I'm thinking maybe saltwater because I know sturgeon get really big, but I don't know of any that get that wide. They're usually really long, got a lot of bumps and spines down their back. Hey, looks like Leslie joined us.
Hey guys.
How's it going, Leslie? Hey.
Pretty good.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Good, because my audio is messed up tonight. I'm running on a backup system.
Oh no.
And we were just getting into some cryptids, and then we were going to move into some ghost stuff, and then we got some alien stuff.
Sounds good. I thought I'd drop by for a few.
Heck yeah, you can help me critique some of these videos this week. This thing here is some kind of a giant fish, I think. Fish like I've ever seen. It almost had a head on it like a horned toad or something.
Can you play it again?
Yeah, we'll play it again. I don't know. It don't look like any fish I've ever seen. But
Yeah. I can't see it real good because I'm on my phone, so it's small. My computer is not, the camera's not working. I don't know what's up with that.
Well, I'm having audio trouble tonight, so I've got some new friends tonight. I got Addie the Tartan, who she's been on 3 weeks in a row, and she has not disappointed. The last 3 weeks, she has set off a cat ball or two, and then this is a new guy. I just got him. I don't have his name yet. Say hello.
Hello, Leslie. Hello.
So, ventriloquist dummy. I thought I'd try him out. See, so they're supposed to be kind of haunted and have attachments because people interface with them more. They always got their hands on them, and it's like their puppet and everything. So I thought, well, maybe it'll have some kind of attachment. But
yeah,
this is my second vid. You never know. He's my second ventriloquist dummy, and we've tried the clowns, it's different dolls, but this little lady here, she's had something going on the last couple of weeks.
Is it the same one that we saw at on our group call?
Yeah, I had her on the camera all night, and didn't really get a lot of action. The spirit box wasn't getting a whole lot, and so I don't know if maybe try again a different method or. I did. The one thing that was weird is the IR on the camera was blinking in and out, which that usually don't happen. So maybe we'll try her again. How's everything going over there in your neck of the woods over there in Greenville?
Nothing too exciting. Like I told you with those dolls when you had them out before, the only thing I got was like something like jumping out at me, like saying boo, like a child, like a playful, That's the only thing that I saw.
Are you seeing boo? Well, I've got another. These are supposed to be from this year, recent. Supposed to be the clearest Bigfoot images ever. which makes me think they could be fake because they're not blurry. Everybody knows Bigfoot's blurry.
There's so much people can do now with technology. It's hard to know if anything is real, when you see a picture of it or something.
Absolutely. Well, let's check this one out. See what you think, Leslie.
There's a piece of footage circulating online right now that I genuinely believe might be the clearest evidence of Sasquatch we've ever seen. I've spent the last 3 weeks obsessing over this 10-second clip, and the more I analyze it, the more convinced I become that what we're looking at is real. This isn't some grainy blur or obvious guy in a costume. This is something different entirely. The footage appeared online in early January 2026, and within 48 hours it had gone absolutely viral. Millions of views across every platform you can think of. The comment sections exploded with arguments, believers swearing it was authentic, skeptics calling it the best hoax they'd ever seen. But here's what got me. Even the hardcore skeptics seemed rattled by this one. The usual dismissive comments weren't there. Instead, people were genuinely asking, what am I actually looking at here? The clip itself is deceptively simple. It's trail camera footage shot from a fixed position somewhere deep in a coniferous forest. Everything is still. That eerie pre-dawn stillness where the forest seems to be holding its breath. And this is where it gets interesting. This isn't the typical here 1 second, gone the next Sasquatch encounter. The creature stays in frame for the entire 10 seconds, just standing there, watching, scanning. Its head moves slowly from left to right like it's assessing the area, checking for threats or perhaps looking for something specific. Then after what feels like an eternity, it calmly walks out of frame to the right. No panic, no sudden movements, just a methodical, purposeful exit. I've watched this footage probably 500 times now, frame by frame. I've zoomed in until the pixels start breaking down. I've adjusted brightness, contrast, saturation. Everything I could think of to see more detail. And every time I do this, I become more convinced this is legitimate. First, let's talk about the physical appearance. The creature is covered in thick reddish-brown fur that appears matted and weathered. This isn't the pristine uniform coloring you'd see in a costume. This fur looks lived in with variations in color and texture throughout. In certain frames where the moonlight catches it just right, you can see how the fur moves independently, rippling naturally with the creature's subtle body movements. That's incredibly difficult to fake. The size is what really gets me, based on the surrounding pine trees and undergrowth.
I see like
Wow.
human-like features in that.
Its eyes is what got me. It's like,
Yeah,
they don't look like contacts or fake eyes, or
yeah. It
and it
is
moves real like
human-like there, I think.
like he said, it moves real slow.
Yeah.
Like if it was in a hurry, I don't know. It didn't act like it was in any kind of panic mode or nothing. It was just kind of like looking around.
I watched this documentary. I can't remember what it was called. It's been a long time, but an older man had cancer, and he was coming close to the end of his life. He knew, and he was out on a body of water, and he said he just looked up, and then like on the bank, just slowly, what appeared to be a Sasquatch stood up, and it made eye contact with him, and he said it was like a majestic experience, like it was like a life-changing experience, and that was pretty. It was a pretty believable account, I thought.
Like you wake up, look out your tent, there's like a deer there, and nobody sees it but you. It's just kind of like there in the mist, and then it just walks off, and like you and nature had a moment, kind of thing. That's how some of the encounters are. I got another one. Let's see. A video's doing something weird. Okay, this one I think's AI. This one's kind of a cute one.
Not very likely.
Bigfoot
Not
is
very
pet bunny.
Yeah.
I like some of the AI stuff. Kind of cute. This one here, I'm gonna roll this one again. You missed this one, but since we're on Bigfoot, I'm gonna throw this one up. This one I thought was like a guy in a costume, but then the way its feet grab onto a log makes me think it's some kind of like ape, but it could be AI too.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
its legs look kind of the feet look kind of like fake feet flopping around, but then I seen it like grab onto the log. And I'm like,
Gripping, yeah.
yeah, I'm like, I don't know. It kind of looked fake, but it also looked like it could be AI or something. All right. This one here is another trail cam picture, and supposedly this guy just was looking at his trail cam pics, and this was on there, and it's pretty interesting. We're gonna slide out of the cryptids and get over into the paranormal. Look like an old pioneer woman to me.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that video? It's on like Paranormal Caught on Camera or something. They're like, they called them night crawlers. They had like a round head and they're like two legs. Looked like it looked like a sheet was over something with a head and two legs, and they're just like walking. You know, that's what it reminded me of. And I don't know what that. We don't know what that was either, but they called them night crawlers.
You want to see the pioneer woman again? Or you want to move on to, since you're talking about night crawlers, I think I might have one of them tonight. I think this may be the night crawler. I've got a couple videos tonight like that. Here we go.
Here is one of the eeriest security camera captures ever. It all went down around 8:15 p.m. on January 12, 2026. A homeowner located in the Cumberland Plateau of Alabama was alerted by her security cameras. She has cameras practically covering every section of her yard and home. Curious to see what was out there this late evening, she took a look. And what she saw had her and her husband puzzled and terrified.
There. What the heck? No.
It's not a coyote. That's a person.
Their rooster is going crazy, likely disturbed by whatever this was. It's a pale, skinny humanoid, just wandering around their rural property. It's captured by multiple security cameras, giving us different angles and glimpses at what this could be. They even access their cameras and move them towards the so-called creature.
What the f, man? What the f is that?
The rooster's not too happy. Why is she in her freaking pen? What the f?
The figure doesn't behave normally. Its movements are jerky and unpredictable. It looks to have a skinny body and a large round head. At some points, the figure is seen running around their property, but it runs with its arms out to the side. And other times it's seen crawling. A lot of these kinds of clips online are quick and don't deliver much context, but this one goes on for several minutes with rather clear footage and evidence, adding to the realness factor. The family also recalls their property is pretty remote, as you can see in the video. It's surrounded by lots of trees and not much human life, with no foot traffic. There's really no reason there should be anybody on their property. Others, including the homeowners themselves, believe this was some kind of humanoid creature. Maybe a rake, a pale crawler, or a skinwalker, lurking just outside. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below.
That was pretty wild.
Yeah, in cases like that, it seems like you would have a better idea if you knew the people, like if you knew what kind of people, because there's so many reports these days of paranormal activity of various kinds all over the place, and if you know the level of trustworthy the people are, and and just the fear factor of it too, because sometimes they're trustworthy and respectable people, but they get so afraid of something that can be explained naturally that they kind of trick themselves into believing it's something when it may be nothing. But there's definitely things out there too. There's definitely things out there. So.
Yeah, it didn't look human to me when it got close. And it walked weird, like the way when it was upright, it didn't
Hmm.
walk like a person to me. It was like perfectly straight, pretty wild. Uh, I'm gonna play that Illinois creeper again for you since we're on creepers.
This photo was taken January 6, 2026 in the woods of Illinois. The photo was taken on a trail camera that is only activated because of movement. Hunters use this technology to track their prey, and the owner of the trail camera was shocked upon discovery. The woods where this trail camera are located are very remote woods and privately owned. These woods are not open to the public. Do you think this is a ghost, a skinwalker, or just a hoax?
So those are the eyes that we see glowing, right?
Eyes, or unless he has glasses on, I thought it might be just some guy out there hunting that ain't supposed to be out there. And it almost
Yeah.
looked like he had on a vest to me, like a hunting vest, But or it could be something paranormal.
I have a picture where like I'm standing in the bathroom and it's fairly dark in there, and you can see eyes like behind me, and in the next, and like it's like they change heights. It reminded me of something like a meerkat, like something that was like standing up tall like that, except it seemed like they could stretch. You remember E.T.?
Yeah,
His neck, he could stretch like that.
his neck could
Yes,
elongate.
yes. I've experienced one of those in real life before in the bathroom.
Leslie's one of our teammates, and she's got a lot of weird stuff going on in her house. And
Yeah.
one of the things we noticed for sure, she has really high EMF at her house. And I don't know if it, in my industrial, not the K2 meters, these K2 meters have all the shielding removed, so they're very sensitive. I also have an industrial meter that's like for electrical problems, and it was pegging it. The whole center of her house, there's one wall, it was pegging that meter. So
Yeah,
there's a lot of energy going on there. I don't, and it could be something going on electrical, but that's energy. These things
yeah.
could feed off of
It's
that.
abduction stuff. It's abduction stuff. I can remember, like, I have memory of some abductions. I have memory of some abductions, and others I know I don't have. Like others I know I don't have it. And before before all this, I had been pretty afraid of aliens because of just like the scary movies that you see. Fire in the Sky always scared me a lot, but it's like my little human brain couldn't understand that there could be good purposes for it. It just felt like kidnapping to me before. And now that I've seen it, like I know there's good reasons. There's good purposes for abduction too. It doesn't have to be all bad, and there's well-intentioned things too. It's just there's a big world out there of unknown, and some things seem to me to be like humans from the future, like future generation humans, and then other things do seem to be from somewhere else, like or something else, whether it's somewhere or just something other than human. So I've heard voices. I've heard there's
Some
like alien voices and stuff that sound very different than human.
people like you'll think you're having a out of body experience type thing. You're like, okay, it's like sleep paralysis. I can't move, whatever. And then they'll basically take the person and they levitate them and take them outside the house and then take them up the spaceship, whatever. Have you ever undergone hypnosis for any of your?
No, it would be interesting. It'd be interesting to do something like that. I think definitely.
Since you
Definitely.
since you remember little bits and pieces, that's how it
Mhm.
starts, and then usually the victim, which would be you in this case, would go under, or contactee, they would call you also, or abductee.
Yeah.
A lot of different terms would go under hypnosis. They call it like regression analysis, and you go back and sometimes they find out you've been abducted several times. They've implanted stuff in people, they've been probed, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They
Like, I remember
also,
saying that to him one time. Like, please don't run off without putting my tracker in because I don't want to get lost. Like, I don't want to get lost from you all.
you're going against the grain. You want them to find
Yeah,
you.
I didn't at the beginning, but like I felt like I needed them or something. I felt like I needed to not get lost from the group. So
That's pretty interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
they.
is. I mean, it's totally different than what people assume at the beginning. And I know, there's some that have done some bad things. I know there are those that like, it's like in little man syndrome. They're gonna get mad at me for saying this. It's like little man syndrome and inferiority complex. Like they want to seem
Well,
big
some
and
of them
bad.
might be. There might be little ones. They. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's like
from what I've read,
on
there's
Independence
different.
Day.
Oh,
On
yeah,
Independence Day, the movie, they wore
yeah.
those big mechanical suits because they wanted to seem scary. They wanted to seem like bigger and tougher. And I think that's the case with some of them. Like they want to seem powerful and they do things to intimidate because of that. Like that's like the Travis Walton thing. People don't seem to realize that was not a happy message they were sending. Like, and that's I consider that to be a real account, of alien abduction, Travis Walton's
They've
abduction story.
underwent
They brought a
lie
lumberjack.
detectors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
and
brought
they've
a
also lie
lumberjack.
detectors.
They brought a lumberjack back to his or 30. They brought him back 5 days later, naked, 30 miles from his home, and terrified. Like that was like an
Yeah.
intimidation technique. It's like saying, "Hey, we're stronger than your strongest men. Like we're bigger than your strongest men." Like people don't seem to realize that was like a threatening type of thing he did because he seemed really scared after it, but that was not a
Well, like
happy thing.
that case was different because most of them you hear about like, well, they snuck in the middle of the night and you know
Yeah,
subdued me and
they didn't
floated me
take
out.
you.
But
Yeah,
that one, yeah, that like this one, there were witnesses. Like the other lumberjacks
yeah,
saw him get
yeah,
hit with that beam of light, and then they hauled ass out of there. They
yeah,
were going to go help him. They're like, nah, we're not messing with that. So yeah,
yeah,
there's all these different supposed types of aliens. I myself would like to meet one of the Nordic ones. Those seem pretty cool.
yeah. Well, I told you
They
guys
got
like
another
not too long
creeper.
ago, the Galactic Federation. I saw a video on YouTube that was talking about the Galactic Federation, and it sounded so much like me. Like it sounded so much like things that I would say, and then I could hear some of them, some things talking. I feel like that has something to do with me. Like I probably need to look into it more. And before, like in some abductions, I remember one. I was like in this like in a spaceship, and I remember saying I could hear things talking to me on a speaker. I couldn't see anyone, but I could just hear things talking to me on a speaker. And I said, "Oh my God, I got to get out of here. This is not well planned." Like I could tell that wherever they were going, like it wasn't a mission that I wanted to go on. And then later, like I realized, well, I'm kind of a planner. Like I've always been kind of a planner, so maybe that's my part. Like maybe that's my part to play is to help in the planning of some things. So.
There's there's several different people on like TikTok that have they claim to be interacting with Galactic Federation, and they are receiving messages, kind of like you are.
Yeah.
And when you say it sounded like a speaker, they could have been communicating telepathically to you,
Yes.
and that
Some
that
of them do
would
that.
be like a speaker. Yeah.
Some of them do that. They
Supposedly,
have.
your Bigfoots and your dog man supposedly can like communicate. They call it infrasound, and it's like a frequency that they can try to communicate and use it almost like a weapon. And I was talking to a guy earlier today. He was like, "Why can't we try to look for them or get evidence that way?" And I've dealt with some vibration equipment, but to get frequency of something like that, I think you would need acoustical type sensors and run it through like a sound, some kind of sound analyzer to figure out, because it's above or below our human range that we can hear. So some of these things like you're dealing with, they may be communicating in a frequency too.
Yeah.
That,
This
like I've
this
heard
one.
telepathic communication from like your aliens and your Bigfoot supposedly.
Yeah,
They communicate telepathically.
I can hear some of them in my head. Like I can hear some of them like in from inside my own self. And I know that they've set up some things, some of the groups have set up some things so that we can communicate with each other more easily. I can see that they have done that. And I used to be really scared of that, but now I mean I want to talk to them and I want them to be able to we need to be able to communicate clearly. We need to be able to hear each other. But this one abduction, well, I don't know if it was an abduction, it's just like an encounter. I was outside in my backyard and a spaceship started coming at me from the east. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It was like if colors could be both bright and pastel at the same time, like that's what it was. It was some kind of fuzzy but bright color, like pink and blue and green and yellow. It was beautiful. And then like that was in the sky coming towards me, but on the ground, like this like atmosphere moved through where I was, and it was like a brown and green world, and they were like green. They were some kind of animal, like I mean, it was an alien type, but it was like an animal, and they were like frolicking, like they looked like they were having a good time just running through. And then something came to me, and I couldn't see it, but I could hear it, and its voice was like a frequency, and it was singing, like its words were a song, and it was
Wow.
so beautiful it made me cry. Like I started crying. I couldn't even listen
Dang.
because it was so moving. So I don't know if that's something to do with angels or if that's just some type of alien, but it was definitely like a powerful experience. It was great. I stayed out there with them. Like I was so like mesmerized by it. I stayed outside back there with them for a long time.
Did you ever get the high pitch, like almost like a screaming, like a real high pitch squeal, like when you go to take one of them hearing
Like
tests, it's like
feedback.
a real high. No, like a real high pitch in your ear, because some people hear stuff like that. When I know with Gary on our team, he's had stuff scream at him. I've seen him holding his head over his ears or his hands over his ears. Like we've been to some locations. As soon as we pull up, he goes ow, and he puts his hand over his head. I'm like, Gary, what's the matter with you? And he's like, oh, there's something screaming at me. It's like
Now, yeah,
we've been on those like twice. That's happened to him.
I've had it be painful to me. I've had it like their presence be like painful to me, but not really my ears. Just like I don't know what it was. I saw it as like a black mass, but like this somebody had told me that a girl was having trouble with something, and they wanted me to take a look at it. And I went over there, and I don't know what it was, but it was like it looked like a black mass, and it hurt me. Like the whole time I was like inching my way out the door because it just was so uncomfortable to be in there. And there was another time that something that I just randomly encountered hurt my head. Like it was like my head had something in it that didn't need to be near its head, like feedback or something. Like I don't know, but that was a long time ago.
I was watching. They were interviewing Martin Groves. He's the sheriff that he's been on a lot of different documentaries and whatnot, and he's one of the more prominent people who's experienced the dog man. What makes him more believable is he was with law enforcement, and a deputy was with him at the time when everything happened. But he was talking about going back out a few times, and he's been around these things that they communicate some kind of a, like you're saying, a frequency, and you'll get like a headache, you'll feel it in your whole chest, your body. And he was saying basically you almost got to kind of like open yourself up and be receptive to it. But he said you got to be very careful. He's saying it's too powerful for humans to sustainably listen to it. Like if you get a little hit here and there, it's almost like a weapon. Like you can take a couple messages or whatever. He said, but if you stay out there too long and expose yourself, if you don't get out of the area or whatever, he said that could make you sick, put you in the hospital or worse. Like he's saying, this is like a bad, really bad
Something really strong.
encounter. When this frequency is like a high pitched. They call it infrasound, and basically it's like a weapon that they use. And he said that's why a lot of people will have to leave the area. They get this feeling, or they start getting a real bad headache, and they gotta leave. And just like some paranormal places we've been, we've had some of our team members get a headache or they get sick, their stomach. I know a Cammy girl, we've had to get her out of Octagon Hall, and then Liberty Hall, we had to get her out of there. She got sick in her stomach. I've had Cindy, her sugar went low one night. One day we've had to abort. It's like we're shutting this down because you have to get out of the area. Like I know in Cindy's case, her sugar went low, and we gave her some like emergency stuff we had with us, but it still, it wasn't helping. So we had to go get her some more food, and if that didn't work, we're probably gonna have to go to the we call it prompt care or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's one thing if you're out investigating. It's not for everyone. There are inherent dangers. Walking around cemeteries in the dark, you might fall in a hole or trip over something, or there's people out there running around in the cemeteries in the dark that aren't there to investigate like us. They may be out there for other nefarious reasons, so you gotta watch out for.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about real people than I am dead people. Well, I got another creeper here for you to check out, Leslie. This sounds more like your style of creeper. It was caught on a trail cam, and I think it was a crawler.
This can't be a human. The trail camera was set up in a forest, though the location remains classified. The camera was set up to capture wildlife and such, and the owner never expected to capture something like this. But then something emerges from behind the rock. It crawls up on the rock on all fours and looks around. The creature has the body of a human, but something seems terribly off. The way it moves, looks around, its skinniness and paleness, it's completely wrong. This can't be a human. Many people quickly pointed out the creature resembles the cryptid called the Rake. A pale, emaciated humanoid that looks just like this. So was this the Rake caught on camera in the woods this day, or a different creature?
The way it was popping its head, it almost like it was sniffing to me, like a dog sniffing.
Like the appearance of things, the appearance of like alien types has to do with the reproduction and like who, how and who and when, and also their environment and their resources. I was talking about that earlier with them. Like it's what they're going to look like is going to be determined by like their who and what they're reproducing with and the environment that they're in, the resources. So I think some have jumped the gun, so to speak. Like they like their reproduction is so fast that they produce generations and generations. And like one day I was saying, because they do make jokes too, some of them do. One day I was saying it would be good to have 4 or 5 peers, like a litter is what I basically am talking about, but like so that you know your place, so you know your place in in a family and in the world or whatever. And one of them said, we preferred 1,000,000 peers. We preferred 1,000,000 peers. So like the reason for that would have to be either because they were building an army. That's what they say. They say it was either they were building an army or they were eating them because they didn't really. Nobody needed 1,000,000 peers. That's not a good. It's not a good plan. Like that's too many mouths to feed.
Either for food or defense.
Yeah.
Army or food. I got another one here. This one I think could be completely fake AI, but I'm going to call this the giant horned creature. This is pretty wild.
This brand new creature sighting is taking the internet by storm. It was just posted on April 15th, 2025. The caption reads, "A strange animal was spotted moving through the woods, and we've never seen anything like it. Is it a cryptid, a rare species, or something else entirely? Watch closely and decide for yourself." The video shows a large horned creature swaying back and forth. Its head is ginormous, equipped with small glowing eyes and a large mouth at the bottom, and the horns have to be at least a foot long. We can see the outline of its body, and it's unbelievably huge. It's very wide and dark, way darker than its head. Shortly after the videographers stumbled upon this creature, they ran away in terror. But luckily they filmed it first. They didn't want to get any closer and didn't want to stick around any longer. They got the footage they needed and quickly got out of there. I mean, what would you guys do if you came across this creature? Would you stay and investigate and film it? Or would you get the heck out of there?
I would definitely stay and investigate and film it. That first picture they showed, I think, is an AI image of what they think it is, but that almost to me looked like a dog or a cow or something. But them, them ears or horns or whatever. Could be the goat man.
I have a picture of the devil with horns here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I use one of the apps I use is AI Sense, and it's just like picking up on what I guess is AI and I think different types of energy too. I'll have to show you some of it sometime. And there's clearly like some big things going on in his house from that, just from looking at that app. It's crazy. And
Well,
that
there's a
was
lot of
he was
energy in your house. That high EMF could have, you could have all kind of stuff going on. Like they've got guys that go out investigate. They got it's called an EMF or an EM pump, and it's like a little device that's supposed to put out EMF energy to, but it's kind of localized. It's like kind of like one of these little battery type, about that size, and it's like one of these kind of things. Like, but it's putting out EMF, and they do that so that the spirits or whatever will have energy so they can manifest and show they're trying to get activity. You're like, well, maybe this ghost just isn't strong enough to come through, so they
right,
get EMF.
right.
But in your case, your whole center of your house is like an EMF pump, and it's way off the chart. Like my meter was pegging at over 975, going to 1,000. It's usually reads 0 everywhere I go. I mean, I've maybe get around a flat screen TV and hold it right up to it. You might get up to 100, maybe. But you were pegging the thing. The red light was going off, telling me overload.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of energy going on
energy. Energy is one of the first things. Energy is one of the first things they talk to me about. Is that like different types of, like, they were asking me questions and I was talking to them about different types of energy, like light energy, heat energy, sound, all these things. And I can tell that like energy is something that they knew, that these entities definitely want to know about it and they need it. And energy currency, we talked about energy currency here, like how in the future, like different types of energy will be seen as like money, and like there was one bad one that had an energy sweatshop. Like they had children like using a bunch of children to like harness energy. And it could even be like,
Wow.
there's a Black Mirror episode where like they were having to ride a bicycle to like pay for things, like to generate some kind of energy, like that kind of thing. There's so many different types of energy that you can generate. Like just the human body can do it. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting. And something I forgot to tell you, I have figured out they do a lot. One time at the very beginning, this one group, I can't remember what they look like. I don't remember seeing them. I just remember hearing them. Said, we don't know what this is, so we're going to give you a passy while we try to figure it out. And I was like, okay. And a passy, I've come to know now, is like a sedative. it's like something to keep you calm while and it's almost like I don't want to say it, but like the date rape drugs, like you don't remember anything, and you're like,
Like
it lowers your inhibitions and stuff. That's the kind of
rupees,
yeah.
whatever.
Some aliens use some type of drug like that will make
Melatonin to
you,
help you sleep.
yeah, it will make you like lower your inhibitions, so you'll be more likely to do things and just go along with things, just go along with whatever is being done without putting up much of a fight, and you're not likely to remember it later. And that's kind of interesting. Like sometimes I'll realize that I'm saying something really weird. Do what?
So maybe it makes you pass out and you wake up later and you're like, what happened?
Yeah.
But you don't remember what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes like I know I'll say something that sounds really crazy. Like I don't realize how crazy it sounds until later. Like I'm just saying it matter of factly. And it sounds so silly, like it'll sound silly or something. And I think that's from those kinds of experiences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's one. This is something they caught on LiDAR. And I've got a couple. I got a LiDAR on my phone. Then we've got
that AI Sense app talks about LiDAR. It has like, it'll say you like you turn it on or turn it off.
Yeah. I've got a couple of apps like that. I like to use more of the industrial ones, like they use for mapping.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to just pick up everything and map a room, or I use it on like car parts and stuff too, small things to measure. You can measure with it, but you can do like a 3D of a room, and then you can go back later and figure out how much lumber you need, that kind of stuff, drywall. But what happened is some of the LiDARs, they can have like live, it's going live, and you'll have stuff pop up that's not supposed to be there. That's what this video is going to show you right here. This is like something they're just doing a scan and this thing pops
I'm
up.
done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. We're dreaming how we came.
What was that at the
You want
end
to
there?
see
It
her?
looks like there's one over on the side at the end there.
I'm not sure. I'll roll it again. It goes pretty quick, but it's some kind of almost looks like a little girl or something.
Yeah, like a
Holding something.
human-like figure.
Yeah, and then it goes away.
I'm done hiding, now I'm shining like I'm born to be. We're dreaming how we came.
Yeah, I saw that at the end. It almost looked like an energy popping up, like a shadow of some kind of energy.
Yeah.
I've seen
Mine's
that on
kinda
the
like that.
SLS. I think I've got an app similar to that. We got a SLS system. We were in an old house, and there's a lot of graffiti, and I can shine it at the wall of the graffiti, and you don't see anything. It just looks like a blank wall. But we got on this one wall, and there was a symbol showing up, almost like a sigil. But when you look at the wall, there's all like this graffiti and stuff. You can't see that symbol, but the SLS was picking it up.
Yeah.
The light structure was picking this up, and you couldn't see it. It was like, I'm like, is that something in the paint? Like something under the paint that's picking it up? I've got a video of it somewhere on one of our pages, but it's pretty wild. Leslie, I think it's that time.
Could have used a little more cowbell.
Yeah.
Always got to have the cowbell in there because you can never have enough.
No.
You got to have more cowbell.
I have forgotten about the cowbell.
Leslie's house was one of the places we went where the cowbell, it didn't ding, but it did move the striker in the middle.
Yeah.
There was something going on at her house that we could move the striker. We're like, oh, come on, make the cowbell go off, Anyway, we might have to go for a round 2 on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Lake Malone would be a nice place to go, like for camping or even to investigate. And it's not too far from here.
Yeah, we like to camp. We immerse ourselves in the area and put out our equipment and stay up and see what's out there.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, here you go, Leslie. I think you're anticipating our next video.
This photo was taken in 2026 by Eli Mercer. He was on a camping trip with his friend and wanted to send a Snapchat photo to his wife to show her what he was up to, and he captured this. His friend was nowhere around at the time. He had just gotten up to go to the bathroom. Do you think this is real or fake?
There you go, the campfire ghost.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I think it was legit. It looked like the ghost sitting there in a chair.
Yeah.
You want to roll that one again? All right,
This photo was taken in 2026 by Eli Mercer. He was on a camping trip with his friend and wanted to send a Snapchat photo to his wife to show her what he was up to, and he captured this. His friend was nowhere around at the time. He had just gotten up to go to the bathroom. Do you think this is real or fake?
Pretty wild. If it was a thermal camera and he got up and he was picking up his heat, it was one thing, but I don't think it was. That was my campfire camping ghost. I know I'm going to say this wrong. This one was called the Montana Shunkawarunka. Shunkawarukin. All right. This was out of Montana, this creature. Let's see what you think of this thing.
Why does a Montana rancher have a wolf-like creature mounted in his home that scientists can't identify? 1886, Madison Valley. A rancher named Israel Hutchins shot a creature attacking his livestock. It looked like a wolf, but wrong. too tall, back sloped like a hyena, dark hair with red tints. He mounted it, called it Ringdocus. His family kept it for generations. In 2007, cryptozoologists found it in storage. They examined it, took samples. DNA analysis showed canine. But the proportions didn't match any known North American wolf or coyote. The back legs were longer than the front, hyena-like billiard. But North America has no hyenas. Native Iowa tribes called creatures like this Shunka Warakin. Carries off dogs. Between 1880 and 1920, ranchers across Montana reported similar animals. Wolf-like, hyena build. Attacking livestock. The mounted specimen still exists. It's displayed at the Madison Valley History Museum in Ennis. You can see it yourself. Believers say it's an unknown canid species. Skeptics say genetic defect or hybrid. But hybrids don't show up across decades. Have you seen it in Montana? Drop Madison Valley in the comments. Follow for more Montana cryptid case files.
Well, if I ever go to Montana, I'm going to stop at that museum and check out that thing.
Yeah, that's a long ways away.
You can make it there in a couple days. There's a lot of different, like, coyote crossbred dogs and stuff they're finding out. Look like, they call them coy dogs. They're like a bigger version of a coyote, and they think they're crossed with a wolf. I think I got one more. I'm gonna see if I don't think this is the same humanoid video. If it is, I'll kill it. And I've got a couple more UFOs, and then I got one of my videos for you to check out. All right, here we go. Humanoids.
Here is one of the eeriest security camera captures ever.
All right, we already looked at that one. Here's your UFO, Leslie. This is what I would call a classical cigar-shaped UFO, if I ever seen one.
Cioè, pare che si sta muovendo, Ale. Io mi sto cagando sotto. Cioè, pare che si sta muovendo, Ale. Io mi sto cagando sotto.
The only thing I could think that might have been would be one of those airplanes pulling one of those signs behind it, but they don't do that overnight usually.
Yeah. I see stuff in the sky a lot that I'm like, I'm not sure, if this is normal, or because you never know what, military's got going on, or just what aircraft could be around you at the time. There's just
you're over there by Fort Campbell, so you're in their fly zone over there, so there's no telling what you got going on. I'm gonna call this one a foreign. This is a foreign UFO because not sure what language he's speaking. But this is like a guy was doing photography and he captured this. This is pretty wild.
Sem brincadeira. Não sei se vocês conseguem ver um pontinho preto aqui, ó. Vou dar o zoom aqui, ó, em tempo real. Olha só o que minha câmera pegou, Zé. Mano, olha isso aí, ó, no céu, velho. Por Deus do céu, velho. Acabei de filmar esse troço aí, ó. Sério, galera. Se filmar não, perdão. Tirar foto. Olha isso aqui, velho. Minha câmera não conseguiu pegar muito bem nítido. Eu achei que tô tremendo, mano. Mas olha isso aqui, ó. Isso aqui é lá em Carlão, ó. Não sei se vocês conhecem o morro aí, ó. Ó. Eu tirei outra foto aqui. Vou mostrar aqui pra vocês. Olha aí, ó. O objeto que tava no céu, ó. Doideira demais, velho. Alguém vai complicar alguma coisa. Não tem lógica. Não tem lógica. Deixa eu ver se eu tenho outra imagem. Vou mostrar outra imagem aqui pra vocês. Não tá legal a imagem. Esse aqui é um objeto que é bom. Tem outra imagem aqui. Ó. Que não deu. Mas o que eu consegui me aproximar mais mesmo foi esse aqui, ó. Esse aqui. Mano, inacreditável. style.
That music was almost distracting me. I couldn't hardly hear I didn't understand what he was saying anyway, but it was like he was out taking some photos and like, hey, look what I got on my camera here.
Yeah.
It was kind of the classical top shape UFO. They've got the cigar, the triangle, and then they've got that kind of a top, or the saucer shapes, the other kind of a classical shape. The thing I saw coming over here just looked kind of like a ball of light. It was just cruising by, you know. The ones that I've seen that I thought couldn't figure out what the hell it was, it's like it just appears. Like you're looking at the sky and it just appears. And then it would move real slow and then it would just go shoot like straight down. Like and then when it went and when it would be like white and then it would kind of look like this like chrome almost like metallic looking and then it would when it went down it turned like green and white. Like I've seen meteors, I've seen meteorites. They just kind of come they move in one direction. They don't stop and move and then go down. They just kind of shoot off and go down. So I don't know what it was. I seen something like me and my buddy back in like the 80s. We saw something like that. Okay, this is one of my videos, Leslie, with my SLS system. I'll give you a little background. This was at a hotel in Oakville, Illinois, and it was in the basement. It's an old mineral spring hotel. And you can still go there to this day and get a mineral bath. They got hot mineral baths and cold mineral baths. And they have all these different little bathhouses in the basement. They're like little rooms. And there's a restaurant there. And there's a bar and a pizza place in the back. And they got a pool. It's kind of like like $80 a night. You can stay there, and they'll let you investigate for free. It's pretty cool. Been a couple of deaths there in the hotel. A couple of the owners. One of the owners committed suicide. That room is off limits. There's 2 rooms in that hotel that they do not rent out. They're off limits. One of them is that room. I'd like to go investigate that room, but anyway, this is a bathhouse, and this is bathhouse number 3 on the left. And I actually captured this twice in one night, so I thought that was pretty cool. Here we go.
Hello, buddy. You getting a bath? Look like you're washing your arms, buddy.
Your recorder may still be recording. I don't know.
So he did that twice. I actually captured it later, and I went around there for an hour, nothing, and then I was just sitting down and take a break, and I sit there in my camera, and he popped out, and it almost looked like he was drying off or something, like he's coming out of that bathhouse, and I'd hate to think I was just drying off every 5 to 10 minutes for the next 100 years, but they call those like a film loop, like a residual type haunting. It just it's going to do its like it won't interact with you. You can go, hey, and they'll just keep doing its thing. It doesn't even know you're there. It's just like an energy kind of thing, like a film loop. But that was one of my SLS captures, and I mean there was nothing in that hallway. There was no lamp. There was nothing upright for it to pick up on or anything. And I've been there for a while. That's just a clip I put on there. I probably sat there for 15, 20 minutes before that happened. It wasn't like it just, like if the SLS is picking up on something that's not paranormal, so to speak, it'll pick it up every time. Like I can shine on a lamp and it picks up the same lamp over and over, or I'll pick up on a vacuum cleaner or a real person, But I'm just sitting there and this thing popped out and does this thing and then he's gone. And then like about 15 minutes later, he popped out and did it again. And so that was pretty interesting. I'd like to take the whole team over there. I think that'd be a pretty cool weekend trip. It's not very far, but I don't know, about 3 hours from here, 3.5 hours from here. So
In some of the SLS I have, they're like upside down. It'll be like a stick figure and they'll be upside down.
Well, here's one. This one is the guy's looking down like a hatch, like he took the cover off of something. He's looking down the hole. So this one here was kind of interesting. Can we roll that one again?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of, when you look at the last image, they pan back and you can just see there's like nothing there. So he's just looking down a hole.
Yeah.
Not sure what that was picking up. Some guy down there working down in the hole. I think that's all my videos for this week. Any other ones? Yeah, I think that was all my videos for this week. But we're hoping to get out there. It's starting to get warmer, but who knows if it's going to get cold again. But that Lake Malone sounds pretty interesting. It's over there toward where you live. And then we'd like to get back to Land Between the Lakes, once or twice. Got some other stuff in the works. I'd like to go do Bell Witch this year and get the team down there, and maybe hit another big, hospital or like another penitentiary or mental hospital, something like that. There's a couple psychics coming to Bowling Green. I think that'd be cool if we all go and maybe go see this, where they come to do a panel group reading where they go around and try to get in touch with your past, loved ones or whatever. We saw Therese Caputo last year. She's coming back. And there's another lady I've been following on TikTok. I don't know if she does, like group readings or not, but her name's Amy. I'll have to send you guys a link, but she's got some pretty compelling stuff. There's a shout out. There's the lady in Florida, Ghost Girl Jen. This was her birthday week. She's been celebrating all week, going to a different haunted location, like all week long. So she put out a couple of TikTok videos. I sent one out. She's been doing some lives. She's going to St. Augustine, and she's been all around St. Augustine doing some lives and some other investigations. So maybe we'll get her on the program. That'd be pretty cool. If we ever all go down to Florida, maybe she could be our tour guide, take us to these locations. But yeah, I'd really like to go check out that lighthouse. The original Ghost Hunter show was on Sci-Fi. It's kind of changed hands, where they had got Jason and Grant, the plumbers, the Roto Rooter guys. They went to St. Augustine. That episode was one I had to watch it several times. There was all kind of activity going on in that lighthouse, and just could not explain it. And I don't know, the other lighthouse, the one I went to in Florida was at Key West, and that's the one where Robert the Doll is at, the one in Key West. So I wouldn't mind going back, but Robert the Doll is kind of like Annabelle, one of those things you got to respect. You don't make fun of him because you might get in a car wreck on the way home or something. I've got these dolls here, but I haven't seen them do anything tonight. You guys going to do anything? She might be going to let us down this week. She had action the last 2 weeks. What do you say there, buddy?
No.
What are you doing? So, I don't know, Leslie. Yeah, we're going to go hit a few things, and I'd like to do some more collaboration. There's a guy down in Tennessee, Matt. I think it's free roll. I like his style. Some of the stuff he don't mess around with a lot of fake stuff either. He was feeding his tarantulas earlier today. I thought that was pretty cool. I'd never seen tarantulas eat crickets before. That was pretty wild. But I don't know. That's about all I got for this week. You got anything else, Leslie, you want to share with us?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna shut her down then. I appreciate you coming on. It was pretty awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime, Leslie. You have a good week.
All right. You too.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Come on.
life.